Hello and welcome. My name is Savannah, and today I will be guiding you through a yin yoga practice. So yin yoga is a great way to slow down, to find some stillness in the postures, to get a little bit more connected with yourself, to practice self-care. And yin yoga is really good for getting into the deep connective tissues of your body. In yin yoga, we hold each posture for at least 3 minutes. So it is important that we come into a position that we feel that we can hold for a little while. As we come into these postures, make sure that you are comfortable, make any adjustments or movements that you need to in order to settle in, knowing that you will be holding the postures for about 3 minutes, if not longer. If you enjoy this class, be sure to subscribe to my channel. This is a great way to support me and my channel. And when you subscribe to my channel, then you will never miss one of my classes that I share on here. For this class, you will need 2 yoga blocks. If you don't have any yoga blocks, you can experiment. You might want to grab a couple of pillows, maybe a couple of blocks, maybe even a couple of water bottles for our low lunge instead of the blocks. So you can play around, grab a few things, and see what works for you. When you are ready, let's get started on our back for Shavasana before we get into our first yin posture. So get yourself settled here on your back. Making yourself as comfortable as you can, making any adjustments or movements that you would like to, settling in and finding some stillness here. Feel your body resting on your mats. And feel the movement of your breath in your body. Notice where in your body you feel each breath the most. Maybe it's the nose, maybe the throat, the chest, or maybe the belly. And what else can you notice about your breath? For instance, does your inhale feel longer or shorter than your exhale? Or maybe your inhales and exhales feel equal in length. Does it feel like your breath is shallow? Or does it feel like you're taking pretty deep breaths in and out? Are you breathing in and out through the nose or the mouth? Maybe you are breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. How does it feel as you rest here on your mats in stillness and simply breathe? How does it feel to practice some self-awareness, tuning in, connecting with yourself, and noticing whatever you are able to notice? Become aware of each breath moving in, and become aware of each breath moving out. If there is an intention that you would like to set for your practice today, I invite you to take some time to select your intention. Your intention can be anything that resonates with you. You might want it to begin with the words, I am. Make your intention in the present tense and allow it to be positive. And you can come back to your intention at any point during class. Perhaps, especially when your mind wanders off to other places and other things, I invite you to repeat your intention to yourself a few times, sealing it in. Start to move your head from side to side, taking your time, just doing this when you feel ready. Tuning into your body and mind and making this practice work for you. You can begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. You can find any other movement that feels good for you right now. Good. We're going to come into our first yin posture, which will be a side body stretch called banana pose. So you can bend your legs, planting the feet down on the mat to start with. From here, ground down into your feet, lift your hips up and just bring them over towards the right hand side. Bring them farther to the right for a deeper stretch and closer to center for less of a stretch. From here, extend your legs out long, bringing them towards the left top corner of the mat. If you would like to, you can bring the right ankle over top of the left ankle. From here, make sure both hips, the right hip and the left hip, are grounded down onto your mat. Then reach your arms up overhead and bring your arms over towards the left-hand side. You can hold on to the left wrist with your right hand if you like. And you can move your head to be in a comfortable position. Once again, for a little bit less of a stretch, you might want to bring your legs and arms closer towards center, so not as far out to the left side. You can also bring your hips closer towards center. Finding as small or as big of a banana shape in your body as feels good for you. Notice how this posture is feeling in your body. Become aware of the kinds of thoughts that you are having. And can you simply allow those thoughts to come and go without becoming attached to these thoughts, without labeling them as good or bad? And without getting carried away by your thoughts. Just watch them from a distance. Notice where you feel your breath moving in your body. And we'll be here in this pose for just a little bit longer. Take one more breath in your banana pose on this first side. Good, let's bring the arms back down alongside the body. You can bend your legs, bringing your feet in towards your hips. Ground down into your feet. Bring your hips back to center. And we'll just rest here for a couple of breaths before we do the second side. Breathing in and breathing out. One more breath. Let's now ground down into the feet, pressing them into the mat, lifting the hips up a little bit just so you can bring the hips over to the left side of your mat. Extend your legs long, bringing them towards the right top corner of your mat. If you are looking for a deeper stretch here, the left ankle can cross over top of the right ankle. From here, make sure that both hips are grounded down onto your mat. If they're not, you might want to uncross your ankle off of your right ankle. You might want to bring your legs closer towards center. From here, we can reach the arms up overhead, and the arms can go towards the right-hand side. If you're looking for a deeper stretch from here, once again, you can grab onto the right wrist with your left hand. You can move your head to be in a position that feels more comfortable for you, maybe taking it over towards the right side. Settle in here and breathe. Connecting with the body, connecting with the mind, and connecting with the breath. Allow your entire body to rest down onto your mat as you experience this stretch for the left side of your body. Notice your breath as it moves in and as it moves out. Notice how it feels to breathe and to settle into this posture. We'll take 3 more breaths in this pose. Good. Begin to bring your head back towards center, arms down next to your body, back to center. Bend your legs, bringing your feet in towards your hips. Lift your hips up and take your hips back towards center. From here, bring your feet to the edges of your mat. Bring your knees in to touch one another. We'll just take a couple of breaths here. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing at your own pace, breathing in your own way. Good. From here, we'll take a twist. Bring your feet closer towards one another. Bring your arms out into a T. So arms can go out to either side. Lift your legs up. Legs are bent to about 90 degrees. From here, release both legs down to the right hand side. If you would like, you can keep the right arm where it is, or you can bring the right hand on the left knee, the left thigh. Look wherever feels comfortable for your neck. So you might want to look towards the left side, but maybe that doesn't feel good for your neck. So maybe you want to look straight up at the ceiling, or you might want to look towards the right side. Whatever feels good for you today. Make any little movements or adjustments that you need to as you settle into this posture. Breathing in and breathing out. Notice where you are feeling this pose in your body today. Notice what your experience of this twist is like right now. Continue to stay in this pose and continue to breathe. One more breath. Good. From here, bring your right arm back out to the side if the hand was on your left leg. Bring your legs up through center as we release from this twist. We'll take it right over to the second side so your legs can lower down to the left-hand side. You can keep the left arm just where it is, or it might feel good to place the left hand on the right knee or the right thigh. Look wherever feels good for your neck. So you might look towards the right side, maybe straight up to the ceiling, or maybe towards the left side. Experiment and find a position for your head that feels supportive for you. Release your body down towards the earth as you settle into this twist. Notice the flow of your breath in your body. Breathing in and breathing out. We'll take our last couple of breaths in this twist. Excellent. Bring your left arm back out to the left side. If your left hand was on the right leg, bring your legs back up through center and bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug, give yourself a squeeze. Take a moment here to thank yourself for showing up on your mats, for taking care of yourself. Take your time to make your way on up into a tabletop position on all fours. Good. From here, we'll be coming into a child's pose. So you can bring the big toes to touch. The knees can be as far apart or as close together as you like. Closer together will be a little bit less of a stretch for the hips. And farther apart will be more of a stretch for your hips. So you can start to lower your hips now down onto your heels. Arms can be out in front of you. Your forehead can lower down to rest onto your mat. If your forehead doesn't reach the mat, you can stack your hands and rest your forehead on stacked hands. Or you can grab one of your blocks or whatever prop you have, and you can rest your forehead on that. So a pillow or a book here would work great for your forehead if you do not have a block. Another option in this pose is you can bring your arms alongside your body. Can you feel the support of your yoga mat and the earth beneath you, holding you in this position, allowing you to receive the benefits of this pose?
Can you settle in and come to a place of stillness? Can you resist the urge to move your body or to fidget in any way? Can you simply rest here? Breathing and experiencing what this pose has to offer you today. Breathing in whatever way feels supportive and nourishing for you right now. Take your last couple of breaths in your child's pose. Good. Bring your arms out in front of you if they aren't already there. And start to come into a tabletop position on hands and knees. So from here, we're going to come into a low lunge on each side. You're going to want to grab 2 blocks for this pose. Like I said at the beginning of class, if you don't have blocks, you could use 2 water bottles, 1 on each side. You could use some books or anything else that you have that you think could work. And then for your back knee, you might want to fold a blanket or maybe even use a pillow, or you could simply fold up your mat for some extra padding if you find that your knee gets uncomfortable holding in this low lunge for a little while. But as always, you can adjust and find a position that works for you. Okay, let's come into this low lunge on the first side. So from your tabletop, let's step the right foot forward in between the hands, placing each of your hands on your blocks or whatever props you are using, making sure your back knee feels supportive and comfortable here. So using whatever you need to make it more comfortable, to allow you to settle into this posture. You can use your blocks on whichever height works best for you. Make any adjustments. And then as you're ready, come to a place of stillness. Stillness in the physical body. And then perhaps with time, with practice, with patience, stillness in the mind as well.
Your thoughts might begin to slow down. Your mind becomes a little bit less busy. But this doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen with just one practice on your mat. It takes time. It's a journey. It's a practice. Now, this low lunge pose is one of the more challenging postures we have in yin yoga. So if you're feeling a bit more uncomfortable or fidgety, or like you need to move in this posture, know that that is completely normal. It is okay to be a little bit uncomfortable and a little bit unsettled. But if you are feeling quite a bit of discomfort, or like you really can't settle in the pose, then I invite you to make some changes. Grab some more props. Pad up your back knee a little bit more. Maybe you want to bring your back knee closer towards the front foot. Maybe you adjust the height of your blocks. Notice where you feel this posture in your body. Experience the movements of your breath in your body. Here in this pose, can you unclench your jaw? Can you release your tongue away from the roof of your mouth? And can you soften the space between your eyebrows? We'll take our last couple of breaths right here in our low lunge. Good. From here, you can step the right knee back into your tabletop. Bring your hands back down onto the mat. And in our tabletop, let's just start to bring the hips from side to side a few times. Finding some gentle movement for our hips before we do the low lunge on the second side. Good. From here, find center. We'll come into our low lunge with the left foot in front now. Left foot will step through in between the hands. Once again, use whatever props you would like here. You can use a folded blanket or even a pillow underneath your right knee for some support and padding. You can use your blocks on whichever height works for you. Make any adjustments or little movements that you need to here. And then settle in, find some stillness in the pose.
Can you ground your left foot down into the mat? Can you ground all 5 of your left toes into your mat, as well as the left heel? Experiencing this pose in a more grounded, centered, steady manner. Can you turn your attention and your focus inward to yourself? Simply being with yourself in this slow lunge. Once again here, can you unclench your jaw? Can you bring your tongue away from the roof of your mouth? And can you release some tension around your eyebrows? Take one more breath in this pose. Good. As you're ready, you can step your left knee back, come into your tabletop, bring your hands down to your mat. And just like before, let's take the hips from side to side a few times. Moving as slowly as you like. Good. From here, come into a seated position. We'll find a bound angle, forward fold. So you can bring the soles of the feet together, the knees out wide. And I'm going to use both of my blocks here. I'm going to place one on the lowest height on my feet, and then the second one on the highest height on top of that first block. Find a nice long spine, and then start to fold down over your legs, resting your forehead on your blocks. Now you can use your blocks or whatever props you have in whatever way feels good for you. So I invite you to play around a little bit and experiment. As you come into this bound angle, make sure you are in a comfortable position. Make sure that you feel a stretch in your hips, maybe also in your inner thighs. Make sure that you're in a position that you can hold for a few minutes. Rest here, feel supported by your props. Surrender yourself down towards the earth. Continue to breathe. Turn your focus inward. Connect with yourself as you hold this posture. Continue to breathe in a way that feels good for you. And breathe in a way that will support you in this forward fold. And we'll be here for just a little bit longer. Take one more breath in this posture. And then start to lift your forehead up off of your block or your prop and come all the way up out of this pose. Bring your blocks off to the side next to your mat and lower yourself all the way down onto your back.
We'll come into one more yin posture before coming into shavasana. So make sure that your blocks are close by. Settling down onto your mat, we'll take supported bridge pose. So the legs will be bent, feet are planted down, hip distance apart on the mat. From here, you can grab onto one of your blocks, ground down into your feet to lift your hips up, placing the block underneath your hips. Make sure that your block isn't underneath your low back, so it's more underneath your hips. And you can place the block on whichever height works for you. So for a little bit less of a stretch, you can bring the block on the lowest height. And for more of a stretch, you can use the block on the medium height. And feel free to adjust the placement of the block or the position of the block, making this posture feel good for your body. Allow your legs to soften and release. Maybe opening your knees out slightly towards the sides. It might feel good to take up more space with your arms. Bringing your arms wide out next to your body. Palms can be up if that feels good. Notice how this posture is feeling for your body, for your mind, and for your breath. Feel the support of your prop underneath your hips, holding you in this position. Also feel supported by your yoga mats, by the earth beneath you. Can you allow yourself to soften and release into your supported bridge just a little bit more? Notice once again each breath as it moves in and each breath as it moves out.
Rest in this pose as you deepen your connection with your breath and with yourself. Take your last couple of breaths in this pose. From here, begin to ground your feet firmly into the mat, lifting your hips up, removing the block or the prop from underneath your body, and releasing all the way down to the ground. Bring your knees now into your chest. Wrap your arms around your legs and rock a little bit from side to side. Good. From here, bring your feet down to the mat. Legs are bent. Feet come to the edges of your mat. And just start to take your knees from side to side, making this movement as small or as large as you like. And from here, whenever you are ready, you can make your way into your final resting pose of class, Shavasana, taking your time to get comfortable and settled in. In Shavasana, your legs can be bent or they can be extended out long. Your arms can be wherever you like them. And if lying on your back doesn't feel good for you, feel free to lie on one side. You can use one arm as a pillow for your head. Another option is you can lie down on your belly. You might want to stack your hands and rest your forehead on your hands. Settle into your Shavasana. Give your body and your mind, give your entire being this time to relax, to rest, to simply be. Moving out of your head and into your body. Gradually bringing yourself from thinking to feeling. And from doing to being. Rest, and I will guide you back in just a few minutes.
Begin to become aware of your breath once again. If it feels right for you, you can begin to deepen into your breath. Perhaps just making each breath a little bit longer, a little bit more complete. From here, you can bring some movement into your body. Whatever kind of movement feels good for you. Take all the time that you need to make your way over onto one side. Whatever side you like. You can use one arm as a pillow to rest your head on. Take a moment in this side lying position here at the end of our practice to think of a few things that you are grateful for. And then you can press your way up and come into a comfortable seated position as you feel ready. Thank you so much for being here and for checking out this yoga class here on my channel. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. You can also leave a quick comment letting me know how this class went for you. And you can give this video the thumbs up. I really appreciate the support. I hope you have a wonderful day. The light within me sees and honors the light within you. Namaste.